Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, by all means, eat your words. Can't give me the business loan I need? Okay, I'll use your quote to secure a better one. Follow the rules with exception. We can't refund you. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. By all means, eat your words. I used to work as a food receiver in a retirement home kitchen. I won't say name, but I will say it sounds vaguely Nordic. When I took over as food receiver in the primary kitchen, didn't have much training. I was just told you helped the previous guy, you know the most, job is yours now. Over the next almost 8 years, got that place maximized for peak use of space. Every now and then we would get a new head chef, and they always made the mistake of trying to run it like a restaurant. Usually in about 2 weeks, they'd realize that it was a different vibe and tone, and adjust accordingly. Had a great head chef as a boss for about 5 years. He knew that since deliveries were food and to some degree perishable, my schedule needed to be a little fluid and flexible to account for late deliveries while not having me rack up overtime. We worked out a great system where I basically set my own hours and got everything done. Fast forward to a regime change. Head chef was a tool, but with him came a woman whose job title was never told to any of us in the kitchen. We were just told she outranked all of us. First thing she did was decide I would no longer have a fluid schedule. My shifts would be posted on the board like all the others, 2 weeks in advance. I didn't like it, but okay. Fair enough. Cut to about 2 weeks later, I had to leave early for a dentist appointment. That had been submitted and approved months ago. I reminded her day before and day of. Day after, she gives me a dressing down and a written reprimand for leaving before end of scheduled shift. She told me she didn't care what happened before, she never had papers for this request. Luckily for me, the head of entire dining department, even above head chef, told her that she had been given all those time off approved papers when she started, and if my shift didn't reflect my pre-approved leaving early, it was her fault for not paying attention. Unluckily, she decided to take it out on me, saying that from now on once schedule is posted, no changes unless it's in writing and signed by both of us minimum of 2 days prior. And no exceptions. I looked at calendar and saw I'd get to have fun and get payback. See, being a food receiver, a monthly job of mine was to do end-of-month inventory on all food, beverage, cleaning items. I had actually created the inventory paperwork myself, so instead of being alphabetical, the items were all listed together based on which area they were stored in. Dishwasher, chemical closet, freezer, dry food storage, soda syrup room, etc. Meaning after a few months I could go room to room quickly, and be done in less than 2 hours. Catch was it had to be done either last thing last day of a month, or first thing first day of a month. And could not do 2 in same month. With no weekend deliveries, I worked Monday through Friday. Now under the old cool head chef, if I had to do it on a Saturday or Sunday, I'd just come in and do it. Then leave early on a slow day, canceling extra hours. And lo and behold, this was one of those months where inventory would have to be done on a Saturday or Sunday. Days she had me down as OFF on the calendar. I grin her like Tim Curry/Grinch in Home Alone 2 and waited. Sure enough, last Friday of the month, she asks me which day are you coming in to do inventory? I told her I wasn't, I was scheduled off. She goes into a tirade about it's your job, you don't tell me I'll have you written up, etc. I calmly told her making the schedule was her job and responsibility, not mine. This earned me, I don't care what the schedule says, you're coming in this weekend. To which I sweetly and sarcastically asked if she had a paper signed by both of us and dated no later than yesterday about us agreeing to this switch. You know, I said, the policy you created when you got called out by head office for not properly handling my scheduled early shift? If smartphones had been commonly around in 2009, I would have taken a picture of her face. I found out from Weekend Crew it took her almost an entire day to do it herself. That was first of many times she found out that fun way that about half the tasks I did under old regime were technically not required by my work position. I just did them when I had extra time to help a boss I respected. Update 1, or DLC for the gamers. Some of you have asked to hear more about head chef, mentioned in passing. I'll add the first and short instance now, the second and longer later. My failing is I get mad when I start thinking, and without realizing it I end up filling story with lots of insults and swears, and I need to rewrite to be somewhat professional, lol. Chef Weenie number 1, so for the head chef and his neurotic attitude, as I stated before, my shift was Monday through Friday. Never found out if this was a company policy or just for the kitchen staff, but technically we in kitchen were supposed to work either one day every weekend or every other full weekend. The previous cool chef realized that only food delivered on weekend was 3 boxes of pastries, and Monday to Friday there was a constant stream of food orders I needed to either place or receive and quality check. So he circumvented and had me, the food receiver, work the days when there was actually food to receive. Now Chef Weenit comes around. He thinks I politic to get all weekends off, and tells me you're coming in Sunday. I try to explain to him there's a logistical reason I have off weekends. He just interrupts me, claiming that my days of special treatment are over. And that even though there's no deliveries, just find something to do. Clean the freezer, fridge, or something. So I come in on Sunday. Now I kept areas pretty clean on a daily basis, only falling behind by a day from time to time if I had heavy deliveries or something. 2 walk-in freezers, 1 walk-in fridge, 1 dry food storage room, and 1 soda syrup room. Except this Sunday they were all recently cleaned with no issues, so spent 8 hours puttering around. Now a side tangent about delivery schedule. Chef placed orders for the raw meat/seafood and fresh produce daily deliveries. I placed orders for twice a week ice cream deliveries, twice a week milk deliveries, and the big orders of bulk foods. I forget ice cream and milk schedule, but bulk orders were placed on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday deliveries. Everything got ordered on Friday for the first delivery day of the following week. So back to the week. I've worked Sunday into Wednesday now, and it's before they added me to printed schedule, so I go to the chef and ask what my 2 days off that week are going to be. That's company policy, BTW. Not entitlement. He says, well, take Saturday off, there's no deliveries. I then ask about my second day off. He looks at calendar and gets an "oh fornicate me" look. Starts stammering about all the orders that need placed or received both of those days. I agree that yes, there are a lot of deliveries and orders to be taken care of. But repeat that I need a second day off per company policy. He then starts in about how no one else here really knows how to place or take care of orders. I hold firm that it's not my problem, I'm supposed to have 2 days off. The heads of dining for the entire campus get involved. Right away the chef is asked, why did you have him work a day when there's no deliveries? So A, I got the next day, Thursday, off. B, chef had to scramble to get Friday orders placed for weekend, not even knowing where the order forms were. C, he didn't schedule me for any more weekends. And yes, that's the shorter incident. Can't give me the business loan I need? Okay, I'll use your quote to secure a better one. So this is one that happened recently. I own a small business and due to recent positive exposure I have been getting inundated with new customers. Due to the increased flow of people I have needed to expand my brick and mortar to accommodate more people. Things like retiling the bathroom, fixing up our patio area, installing better ventilation, etc. However, due to the current economic outlook, a lot of small business loan lenders are a bit more skittish about giving out larger loans. I decided to use a popular site that puts small businesses with lenders who will give them term loans at decent rates. After going through several lenders, I found one that had the amount I wanted for the APR I was looking for. The rep seemed nice in the beginning. He was very cordial and explained the process, background check, paperwork, etc. that I would need to sign and submit to secure the loan. At this point in the story, I should note that the Lender Connect company has a policy that if I get a better offer from one of the connector companies they put you in touch with, if it's within $10,000, they will match it with another lender if they can get you a better rate. So after talking to this guy over the course of a week, I get an offer for the exact amount and percentage rate that I wanted. I tell him that I need a day to read through it and I will get back to him. I figure if I am going to take on a large sum of money, I should at least know the finer details of the contract. An hour later, he starts saying that this offer is only on the table for the next 2 hours and that if I wait longer, he will pull it and only be able to give me a lower amount at a higher rate. He then proceeds to tell me that only his company can get me the amount I need and no one else can, so they are my only option and that I need to accept right away or else I will be out of options. Cue the malicious compliance. I immediately call the main Lender Connect rep who put me in contact with this rep. I explained that I received a great offer from them, but I wanted to see if another company could give me a similar loan amount for a better interest rate and quoted them their policy of matching with another of the lending companies they work with. The rep says to give them 30 minutes. 35 minutes later, they tell me that found another company that would give me a loan that's 2% lower interest rate and $5,000 more than the douche rep's company. I say great, get on the phone and sign with them. 1 hour later, I call the douche rep back. He sounds super smug, assuming that I would have no other option but him, and asks if I have signed the contract. I said I did, with another company. Since he is operating by the Lender Connect's guidelines, I submitted his quote and was able to secure a better loan. I get silence on the phone for 5 seconds and he mumbles out cool beans. I then wish him a great day and good luck with securing clients and end the call. Gotta love company policies. Edit: I have had some people ask why I did not read the contract from the lender I went with or think I was lying when I said I read through the original contract. To clarify, I used to be a paralegal at the SEC. So I'm quite thorough when I read through contracts, lol. I did, however, leave out that I read through the second loan contract as well. My apologies for leaving out that very important detail. Thank you all for your comments and upvotes. You are all lovely people. Follow the rules with exception. About 10 years ago, I was a work for a small firm that prided itself on having a lean workforce. As you can imagine, this meant long days for the staff that worked there. Usually skipping breaks and having a working lunch just to try and stay on top of things. Generally, a 12-hour day was a good day. I smoked at the time, so I would go out probably 5 times a day, for about 5 minutes each time, which is more than I should but less in time itself than taking 2 breaks and a lunch. Everyone wins, right? I did this for about a year, then one day the owner noticed. I was pulled into a meeting with the owner and the entire management to explain my excessive breaks. I went through it all. Less time than full breaks. My first is normally just before I would arrive. I wasn't so early. But it was good enough. I was told to follow the rules without exception. So I did. I took full breaks, I arrived on time and left on time. I worked the exact shift with the correct breaks. Within 3 days, I was back in the same room with the same people asking me why my work ethic had gone suddenly downhill. I can still see the look on their faces when I explained that I was only following the rules without exception. Not the best story, but it was very satisfying at the time. Edit: because I forget to tell you the outcome. I was requested to forget the first meeting ever happened. They were not happy when I told them that I actually liked the newfound love of rule following. After a bit of back and forth, everyone started getting paid for hours worked rather than the official 8 hours we were supposed to work. We can't refund you. trying to return or exchange a rather large item that costs about $280 to Harbor Freight. In the tool area, I let them know that I just didn't have a need for it. I had my receipt. I promise I was a decent man about this. I didn't see the sign when I asked her if I could return my item. She decided she wasn't having it today and sharply and rapidly tapped on the plexiglass and level of body odor that separated us. She got super stern and said no refunds unless there's something wrong with the item. The lady wouldn't budge on her ironclad, sharp written sign saying no exchanges. No refunds unless there's a problem. Very vague sign that allowed for malicious compliance. She started looking around me to the next customer as if I wasn't there. I thought on my feet and stepped in her view again, like I'm guarding that Euro-stepping man from Greece. Ma'am, so you're saying that something has to be wrong with it, so should I break it or draw on it with that Sharpie? Don't be a flipping idiot, you know what the sign means. I really didn't have the patience for this, so I put the finishing move on by saying to the person behind me, hey, it says I can't return this unless there's a problem. If I don't leave right now, would that be a problem? Customer 2 behind me picked up on it pretty quickly by saying, oh yeah, that'll be a problem. Looks like there's a problem. She said it loud enough for customer service lady to hear. I turned back to customer service lady and said, yeah, there's a problem. She ripped down her sign, looked at the third person enter the line and decide to spend the remaining 1% of our time together returning the item. I went on my merry way. I know I was a bit of a jerk, but this place's customer service department is programmed to be as unwilling to work with us as possible. That was glaringly evident over the 3 years I've been shopping here. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.